Okay, I guess we're live on YouTube now. Great, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the viewers on YouTube. We're on for a few minutes, so we will start exactly 4 o'clock. It's time, let's go. Once more, a very warm welcome to all of you. I hope I'm not disturbing your weekend. Some of you have just started, some of you are ending your weekend, so let's go. Dollar index. Let's start with the dollar index. Still in consolidation, like I said last week, and it's probably going to be in consolidation for a couple of months more. So if you got the sell, take profit. If you get a buy, take profit. Right? Those are two sell setup. Those two setups you could have got. Both of them are for profit. You probably get another buy setup here. You can see that. Wait for a flag. Like last week, you're waiting for that flag. You got that trade. Wait for this flag. You get this trade. There's a good chance we're making a flat here. We got one. We got two. We're going up for one more. You might get a very nice trade to the upside there, but after that, we'll be looking downside again because we're pretty much in a very big consolidation. The upside, you may want to keep it because you don't know how high it's going to go, right? We don't know how high this is going to go when it's go back. So wait for a pullback, get that trade up. You will get, yes, if you waited last week, you got that flag, you got the trade down. Wait for a pullback, get the trade up. Take profit, don't keep it. Like I said last week, you got a good trade set up. You get a trade, take profit. Don't keep it. Same would be for the euro, right? You got the trade up. Last week was the trade up. You got consolidation. Actually, it was this one as well. You got consolidation. You got another one. You take profit. Don't keep these trades because you're in consolidation, which means they're going to go up and down. If you get a flag here, and likely you're looking for a flag here, there is a chance they'll retest the top. You might not get that trade because if they make a sharp move up, you're not going to get a trade. But if they make consolidation here, which is what you'll be looking for, just like they did here, you'll get one more trade down, take profit. It might not get all the way here, but if they do and they break that low, take profit, right? Because you're likely going to be in a sideways move, regardless of how you look at it. You could be coming back to this level. I wouldn't be surprised. You get a little flag there, you get a drop here. You're going to have this flat, and you can go up. So take profit. Don't keep the trades. None of them are going long term. Pound is the only one that could go more up for a longer term because we're retracing actually this move, and this move has been a very big move up, right? And we may have made an expanding flat in here, not confirming that as yet. We need to see what this is doing. This could be a running flat. So if you get a trade here, if you get a correction here, you go for this trade, take profit, you get another one, take profit, because we might be doing something like this and then up. We might be going, this looks very much like a B wave in a running flat. So if you get a flag here, wait for that flag, look for the sell, take profit. All of them this week will be short-term trades, just like last week, just like the week before. When you're in these daily 4-hour consolidations, you don't leave them. So you stick up and down. So you can trade, but you have to take every trade and take profit. You're not keeping any trade. Aussie went up nicely. If you were focusing on this was a very nice trade to the upside. We've made another small trade here that ended. That could have been a break-even one because it didn't really go very well. So when it come back, if you took break-even, we took break-even in that. We actually traded it. Some of our traders took off the profit. Some took break-even. It was a choice they had to make because we entered the trade somewhere here. And the choice was either you take off your profit there or you actually keep it at break-even with the intentions they're going to go more. We thought it's going to go more. Right, that was during the news event. We actually got that trade very nicely. So what you're going to look for here now is we're consolidating. We're still in the 4-hour consolidation, right? So if you're going to get a trade to the downside, wait for a flag, take the trade, take profit. Don't expect them to go very far, even if they break the low. If you're in a trade and it drops beyond the low, take off the profit because they're still in the consolidation. It's still a very big consolidation going on right now. New Zealand, same here. But in the New Zealand and the 1 hour, we kind of making an expanding flat there. So I wouldn't be surprised if they turn, rather than make a flag here, this turns to the upside, right? Because there's a good chance you might be in that pattern and you could end up going up rather than down. If you're going to go up, you will have to wait for the impulse to the upside. Let me get that in a different color for you. You'll have to wait for an impulse to the upside, wait for the flag here, and then buy it. Don't try to buy anywhere in here. You either get a flag for downside, you get an impulse and a flag for upside, because this could go both ways right now. CAD. So if you remember the daily structure, what I said, CAD has to do two things right now to confirm the direction. Either we make a 1, 2, 3 here, and then we go down, or we go break the top, and then we go down. Either way, it's downside. The question is, where are they going down? Is this the top of the move as an running flat? Sorry, leading diagonal. My fault, leading diagonal. Or are we and make a flat here to go down? Or are we going to look at this as a correction, retest the top and then go down? Both of those patterns have similar looks, right? So right now we made a move up. They broke out. That doesn't mean anything. That's just the first wave up. We're pretty much now in the second wave, which means we make one here, make one there. We can expect them to go down some more. If this drops a little here and you get a trade there, take that profit because we're likely going to go back up. The upside you would definitely want to buy. If this turns out that it makes a flag right here for you, go for that trade. The upside comes to this level, move that to break even. You can keep this trade. Even if you get break even, you can keep this one because there's a chance they're going to retest the top. If they don't retest the top and they make a move to the downside, then you will get out of the trade for break even, but you will sell in the breakout. You will look for the downside setup for the sell. So right now, wait for them to come back to the top, then go to the downside. If they drop from here, that's a very short trade. Take the trade, take profit, get out of it, right? Because you're still in a sideways move that could happen here. Yen broke out, but it's not going as aggressive as we would like to see. So if you remember, you sold to the bottom. We're looking for a buyback to the top. And right now, we're going to wait for it to see whether you have a consolidation here. Not much of a consolidation. And then you can buy one more. If this is making 1, 2, 3 for downside, which I don't think they're doing, right? We think they're actually going up mostly because the structure is showing us mostly upside for the yen, more than the downside. But if this is to go down, if you don't get a flag here and you get a drop, wait for a flag before you sell. Because even if they drop, they can turn to the upside. A single drop will not give you a trade setup. So I think mostly we're looking for the upside here. Let's see if that happens. If they go lower, well then, if you see this thing drop beyond this point here, we're totally retesting the daily low. If we drop beyond this one, if we drop beyond this low here, you can look for sell setup because we're coming to retest this low. And they will likely retest that low. So from here, they either go up or they drop beyond that low, and then you look for sell setup. Don't look for sell setup earlier than that because this might just be a little pullback before they go. So right now, you wait for a 1 hour consolidation here, and then you take the trade to the upside. Swiss, we got 1, 2, 3, we drop lower. Swiss is going to go up, so you may want to be careful here now, right? We broke the low again, so this time you want to watch. If they're turning to the upside, wait for any flag here in the 1 hour before you buy. Instead of a flag, there's a likely chance we can go lower. So put it to blue. If this consolidates here to go lower like this, one more drop, take profit. Every sell you get now is a take profit, which means if it goes down, we're still, just let me just clear this up because this might create confusion with some of you who are pretty much not aware of how patterns move. We're looking at a 1, 2, 3. Once this is over, we're going up. The question is it over already? And this could drop a little more. Let me use a different color. This could drop and drop and drop and drop and drop, and then you get that. So every sell you get here becomes a very short-term trade in a 1 hour. You take the profit off. If you turn to the upside and anywhere here they can turn, if you get the turn, you get an impulse, you get a flag on the 1 hour, you take that trade, put it to break even because the next move has to go above these stops. So the buys would be long-term trade if it happens. The sells will be short-term trade if they happen, right? So you can keep getting sells within this single impulse going down. You can get some sells, but once that stops, at some point it is going to stop to go back up. Then you would start to look for buy setups. Silver, You just got to buy some silver anywhere at the bottom here, anytime you like. You should have those orders. If you're tagged in the 14, remember I said you can keep it at the 14. You should keep it at the 13.50 if you got out of that one and you put it in the, sorry, you should get it at 14.50 if you got out of that one for positive because it wasn't going anywhere. You got tagged here, you go back up, you should get out of that one, or you can get out of that one anytime for positive. Put an entry order back at the low. So if you're getting out of this one, I'm going to move this one now because that is no longer valid. You want to buy under this low. So your next target would be here. You can put it at 13.80 and 13.90. 13.90 might not be a bad place. Just under this one. You need to get out of that and then put an entry order here. If it's going to go back up from here, which means this pattern likely tell me they can drop one more. We're looking at this as a possibility for an expanding flat, one more drop here and then go. If we're wrong about that pattern, and there is a reason why we can be wrong specifically with this pattern, we're not going to go into details of it here. If they decide to go up from here, put an entry order there. That is if you're not in any of the trades. If you're in trades and you want to keep them, that's okay, because you're at the bottom, and we're looking for a turning point for this thing to go. Now, they might drop. Remember that you're trading within this piece here. You could be trading within this piece here, actually. But the trade you're looking for is that trade. So if you're trying to buy at the bottom here, I think that's okay. You can just buy and hold. If you want to buy, get out and buy again so that you can buy at a much lower spot, that's also okay. The move you're looking for is this move to the upside. So where exactly is it going to turn from? Well, as soon as I get the crystal ball, I'll tell you. But pattern-wise, we can see when we're getting a turning point, right? So this would have been a perfect turning point if we had a perfect flat before it, which means if this move here had gone like this, break this top, and then fall, I would keep that buy. I would keep that buy there for a long time. But because we didn't break the top, there's a chance that we are doing this. And that means one more move here, up again. One of these ups are going to take off so sharp, so fast that you're not going to get in if you're not in the trade. So you can put your entry orders there again and buy. Like I said, you can be buying a lot of times. Every time they go up, you put the break even. If it's a break even trade, you buy again at under the low. Right? Just keep buying under the low every time. It's not going anywhere. Basically, if you look at this, we're not going anywhere. We're just going sideways. Gold broke out. It's coming back in. Like I said, gold, you have to watch it. If you take this trade or took that trade, you got to get out for positive because we are not breaking out of that. That means we're making a bigger correction. So gold might probably see some correction here. You might see one more drop. If you take this trade, take profit, and then look for upside. We will just be making a bigger sideways move here. Just might turn out to be a bigger sideways. I don't think gold is going to break the low. I think silver could break the low, but I don't see that gold doesn't have a structure to go break the lows yet. Gold most likely look like a structure to go sideways, right? So I think gold looks more sideways. Silver does look like it can break the low. Euro Oz, okay, we're finally making a downside, but it's not confirmed as yet. We broke out. Every buy was a short-term trade. Now you can stop the buying and look for sell settings, right? If this consolidates here, I'm expecting them to at least make 1, 2, 3 before they go back up. At least make a bigger correction. If it is the fall to the downside, you'll probably see consolidation right here. Probably see it consolidate right here. And if you get that consolidation there as a pattern, you can look for this sell. The sell could be a long-term one because we have a big move to the upside, right? So the sell, we'll be looking for something like this. If you get the sell set up there, you're looking for something like that. And then continuation to the upside. Because we're looking at this as a big running flat in the making. Euro New Zealand, same thing. You might get some more upside. That is pretty sharp. But if they consolidate here long enough, I'll take that out. If they consolidate here long enough, you're probably going to get one more up. So you can watch this drop. And if they stay here within this, you get one more up. All right, just like this. When they drop, then they give you one more up. Right? If it is going to go down, we don't have a very good sell setup here. I would want them to drop, let it drop, then make a correction. Then you wait for that correction. And if you get this pattern, well, then you can sell. Then the sell setup, because right now it's setting up more for upside rather than the downside. So if they're going to drop to the downside, you'll just have to wait for the structure to start forming, give you confirmation to the downside. EuroCAD. wait. We don't have anything here to trade. They break. That was your sell setup last week. If you got that trade, I hope you got some profit out of it. And now they make another sharp move up. If this is going down, I want another flag here, a 1 hour flag here before we go. So if you get a 1 hour flag there, that would be a trade. Go to the 1 hour. If you get a 1 hour flag here, and if not, buy it. You can put the buy above this top. Because if this goes back up, we're looking for an expanding flat, and I think very much more you're going to get that trade. The upside is more likely than the downside. Let's put it that way. So an entry order above that top for that trade makes sense. I think it's more up than down, right? Because it looks like we have an expanding flat at the top, which should go up. In this piece here, which should go up. Euro Swiss. Euro Swiss also, we've got this sharp move. We're getting one, we're getting consolidation here, we're getting a drop. I think we could be looking for that one up there. All right, so there's a good chance you will look for a buy setup here, at least one more to the upside, right? So remember I was saying, watch this. When it break, it actually broke now. You got a nice one. You could put this here now. And you can, the lower one doesn't have very much value, but you can put something like that. So what you would be looking for was this trade to the upside. I wanted to reverse, make a flag, and then you go for that one. At least one more impulse to the upside. So this trade should be a very good trade. Wait for the breakout, wait for the flag, wait for trade to set up to go with it. Euro yen. Euro yen looks more like a sideways. So there's a good chance that, you know, this, we were looking for this to come tag the top and then go down, right? Remember, we looked at this, we looked at this, we looked at this, and we said, okay, let it go tag the top. But they're not tagging the top as yet. So if they don't have to, but it's much better when they tag the top. The confidence to the downside increase when you get a perfect setup pattern. If it's going to be a contracting flat, wait for a flag here before you sell it. We'll be selling back to this level, right? If they just keep pushing up, wait until they break there, which means you don't get the flag, you just get pushed to the upside, right? If it keeps pushing, somewhere here you start really looking for that downside, right? So I think rather than focus on the upside now, just focus on the downside. Let the upside finish and then focus on the downside on this, because the next trade to the downside is a bigger one. Europa, downside, right? Remember we said you got to break the top and then turn. It looks like we're turning, right? So if you're following me, and most of you are for a long while, you would see when this started to happen, we said, okay, let them do this, and go back there, break that top, which is what they did. And then they start to drop. So you're coming down for this one. See? It works. So you got one trade already. You're getting another trade set up there. That should give you a perfect trade. Go to the 1 hour. You don't want it better than this. You got a perfect flag setup. You can actually set this like that. You can put an entry order, or you can wait for them to break out, make a flag, and then take the trade. So we're looking for downside. We're not looking for anything. And this is a good sell setup, because this one potentially you can come all the way to the bottom. We're expecting this to be a very big and a very sharp move to the downside, which is why we think pound could continue to go up, but euro might even come down. Not just go sideways, but it could come down. So you could see euro falling, pound either going sideways or going up. And that would really give you a good move here. So you don't want to miss this one this week. If this happens, if they go back up, ignore it. If they fall, that's the trade you want. So if they go back up, don't jump and say, hey, I was looking for the seller, I'm in the seller going. You're not supposed to be in the seller if they go back up. If they break this structure and give you a sell setup, then you get in the sell. Or if you put an entry and you got tagged, then you put your stops to protect that. Because if you get tagged in that, likely it's going to go. Right? Pause. This one kind of going sideways. We're in an up move, but at some point they're going to start to turn. Right now it's going sideways. We are breaking out, but we didn't go anywhere. So right now they're kind of consolidating here. If they consolidate and drop through that line there, wait for a little flag here and then go for the sell. The sell could be potentially a big move to the downside, right? Potentially we're expecting this to come and retest these lows, come back to about this area. So watch, you might be making that turn. Not confirmed, but as soon as they break out, you'll get a good confirmation here. I'll probably wait for them to break this structure. Pull this one here. Wait for them to break out and then go for the sell. Pound New Zealand. This also like the Euro New Zealand, right? It's kind of consolidating here, which means they can make one more up. If you want to buy that, it could go. It's not going to go very far, but you can buy and take it. But if they drop to the downside, if they decide to drop here, you can sell under this low. And if they decide to drop, the downside is a bigger picture, right? You remember where it is on the daily. Right? The downside is a bigger picture. So if they decide to drop from this level here, the downside could be a very sharp impulse, right? Because we're in a correction. If they give you a smaller one more push, you take the trade, you take profit. So if that consolidates there, and instead of giving you a sell, you get one more up, which means I hope most of you understand the difference in giving you a sell, that you don't have to just sell it immediately. We have to wait for that setup, right? I know I'm not stressing on that part, but I'm not stressing on that part because if you're trading live, you definitely need to have a strategy. And if you don't have a strategy as to how you're going to trade, then you better stop trading live. So these comments are not for you if you don't understand the charts and you don't have a strategy to trade. Right? When I say one more up possible to take profit and get out, but the bigger picture is downside and you're looking for a sell setup, you could ignore the one buy, but you're looking for that sell setup. And when that sell setup comes, you have to get in the trade. What is the sell setup? Well, it depends on what strategy you're using to trade. Now, you could use any amount of strategies or any kind of strategies that you design by yourself that works for you and help you. Right? That's your strategy. It has nothing to do with the analysis. The analysis is telling us where we think it's going to go. What's the bias, right? It helps you understand what the pattern is doing and where it's likely going to go. How you're going to trade that, from where you're going to trade it, with what lot size you're going to trade it, how you're going to do your money management, your risk management, everything else is what should be included in your strategy. And that's not something we talk about here. Strategy is reserved for our trading room, right? That's reserved for those people who have lifetime access to my trading room, those who took the course. So here, I'm giving you my view and analysis. So that doesn't mean you go sell it right now. It doesn't mean it's going to go up and then it's going to go up or it's going to go down. It means up is short term, which means the continuation of this impulse still possible. The bigger picture is downside. So if I'm trading and I'm looking for the downside, I'll ignore the up. I'll wait for that turn. And when you get the turn, because your bias is downside, you're focusing, you eventually get the turn and you get into that trade. Why would I be looking for a downside when it's going up? Well, because I look at the entire structure. I'm not just looking at that little piece at the top there. That little piece will go 20 pips more. But if I focus on that 20 pips or that 50 pips or that 100 pips more there, I might eventually miss this. Is it going to do that? I don't know. But I'm looking at the structure and I'm telling you, every time I see structures like that, that's what they do. And I can go and show you 100 or 1,000 structure like that, and 80% and 90% of them would do exactly that. So this is what I do. I wait for that. I see it. I understand the structure. And I said, okay, if this is going to go, I want to be in it. If it's not going, then it's okay. I wouldn't be in it. But if it's going to go, I want to get it. Is it going to go in a straight line? No, definitely not. The first move down did not come in a straight line. That thing came down. You see how many pullback you had, a very deep pullback. It didn't come in a straight line. This one came pretty fast because that happened during brick set, but then it went slower. So sometimes they go so slow, sometimes they go fast. When you look at it, you see, you look for an impulse. You look for that corrective structure you have there, and then you wait for the next impulse. See how fast that one went? We got an impulse. We got a corrective structure. What are the chances they can do this? See? Now, everything in this one is lined up for that possibility for them to turn. Now, are they going to turn this week? This move? I don't know. I hope so. If they do that, then we'll all be in very good trades. If they go one more up, it's your call whether you want to take the next one up or you want to wait for the sell setup. This was more up. We knew that was more up. This one, at this point, I thought they'll probably go down, but they make another one up. This could still go up one more. As it stands right now, it's more like this for one more up. That's a short-term trade. You can trade it, take profit. But at any point, this thing could turn, and it could turn very sharp to the downside. And New Zealand and the daily also has that structure for one big move to the upside. Silver definitely cannot make, this thing cannot go up 1,000 pips, because if you're thinking New Zealand is a driving factor in this and New Zealand is going to go up 1,000 pips, or New Zealand is going to fall another 1,000 pips. I think that's unlikely. Where would silver fall if you're looking at silver, if you're looking at the dollar change? If we're looking only at dollar change value, right, then you're looking mostly for this to start falling, because that would be New Zealand losing value against the dollar or gaining value against the dollar, right? So I think mostly it's New Zealand gaining value against the dollar. New Zealand dollar upside, pound New Zealand downside. But let's see, right? Because pound kind of like going sideways right now. There is a move to the upside in the pound, maybe not as big as the New Zealand. If it's a downside, then maybe pound is the one that will lead the move to the downside to give you that one. So look for these trades because they've already moved that distance. They've already made a big correction and they're about to go. Pound CAD, same here. You got the up move. We saw this one. We didn't take that buy because we were not interested in it, because we think that they're probably going to give us one more down, right? So what you're looking for now is they're consolidating. If they decide to go down, this would be a good trade. Pull this here. You can take that off. That doesn't have much. You can take this off. Right now, they're kind of like just going up and sideways, so they can go some more. But if it starts to fall, let it make more consolidation. If it starts to fall, you can get in that trade. There's a likelihood for one more down. Let's put it in the daily so you can see this pattern. Yes, like we said, there's a likelihood, a very strong likelihood for one more down to this level, right? There's a rare chance, but a chance that they make one more up to this level and then go down, making this a bigger structure. You would confirm that when they break out of this. So the buy setup, although they can go up, you don't have a buy setup. You don't really want to buy at a point where they can turn. So if this breaks out of here very sharp, makes a pullback, and it will make a pullback when they break out, that becomes the trade to the upside. Only then I will be interested in a bigger move to the upside. As it stands right now, I think there is a good chance that if you consolidate here, you drop to the downside. So this would be a good trade to look for. And this could probably go much lower, right? Depending on how you look at the entire structure. Right now, this consolidation is not as big and clear as the other consolidations. You do have three ways, but that might not be enough. Pound Swiss, see, you got the big one. It's going down. I think we're going to go more down. We're just consolidating, make a bigger consolidation there. So you've got a sharp move up, right? It's consolidating here. Take that off. That already just went. You're consolidating in this, you can take that off. That was a short trade within that consolidation. Take that off. You can pull this like this, actually. So right now, we're getting some consolidation here. I want to see them come here, and if they go back to that level, if they break out of this and don't break that top, if they break the top, you wait. Don't go for the buy. Wait for the buy, is it? But if they don't break the top and they drop, go for this sell. Go for this sell. You'll get a trade here. So I think very likely short term, we're expecting more downside. I'm expecting this short term to come down more, drop probably here and then go back up. Give us this pattern, right? So if this comes and drops slowly here, you look for the buy, you wait for the breakout of this. That is if they drop lower. Right now, they're not dropping lower as yet, right? From this point, you're still in the consolidation. Basically, you're in the consolidation here now, right? If I take that out and take this out, you're just going sideways. You got one down, and you're going sideways. I would like to see another one down, and then I'd look for the upside. If you get the other one down, then you start looking for this trade to the upside. Short trade, take profit immediately. The downside, if you get this sell and it becomes a sharp one, you have to take profit as well. If it is very short, then you get a break-even trade out of it. When you're in the consolidation, it's always difficult to see what. Right now, we're just making a bigger correction here. After we broke out of the structure, they're making a bigger correction before they will continue to go down. The bigger structure will have up and down a lot, so you can trade it. You trade it short term, which means as soon as you get in, it moves 15, 20 pips. You can move to break even and then wait to see it moves another 20, 30 pips, take profit. And as soon as you see it starts to turn in the 1 hour, get out of it. Pound yen, we are getting to the level where we wanted to go before we get the downside. So you saw we wanted this one. I think I showed you this pattern last week, and I show you again. We wanted to go up some more. The upside was difficult to trade, which means you wouldn't have got the trade to the upside. We looked at it. We tried to see what it's going to do. It wasn't that easy to trade. We saw that possibility, but there wasn't a good setup to buy. It wasn't a good risk to reward. So we let it go, which means you should let it go because that's not a good trade. If you took it and you got some profit, great, right? You let it go. But now if it starts to break this structure to the downside, you go for this one. And this one is very likely to happen because this is giving us a classical running flat pattern. It's almost classical. So this trade is very likely. So what you can do now is just pull this trend line, pull a line like this, watch for an impulse there. If they go up some more, leave it. Leave it if it goes up. If it pushes a little more, leave it. Watch for a sharp move, wait for a flag, and then go. If it breaks way out of this, even that is not a buy setup. Let it pull back all the way back to this level. And now you start looking for buys. So the buy here, although possible, is dangerous. And that's where traders lose money because, you know, they watch it. Hey, I see the buy, so I'm going to jump in. And you jump in there and it never made this. Instead, you get this. Instead, you get something like this. You buy and they go 10 pips and then they do this, make a flag and drop. Right? So you're looking for the structure to the downside. Let it finish the upside. We're looking for the downside. Aussie yen. Probably one more down. Wait for a flag sell. You wait for a flag here. Go for one more down. Put it in a 1 hour. Let's see. Yeah, you can wait for a flag there. There was a flag already, but you can wait for another one. They make flags. They make a lot of flags before they go. New Zealand yen. New Zealand yen might be the only one that might not go very much more down. And even if it goes down, trade another yen pair, not the New Zealand yen, because this is about to go up. I think we showed you this pattern already. This thing is about to end what it's doing, and we're looking for that trade. So at some point, if you get a flag here, you start buying it, right? If you don't get a flag and they go higher, wait for a correction and buy it. You're looking for a buy setup because this is coming. Right? It's just a matter of when it's coming. Whether it's a New Zealand up, whether it's a yen up, it doesn't matter. I think most likely it's going to be New Zealand up. New Zealand could give you a fast move to the upside, which means Euro, New Zealand, Pound, New Zealand could go down, right? So put it back on the 1 hour. There was some flags. Some traders are in it. If you're in it, you may want to put a break even and keep it because it's worth it. If you have a lot on it, take profit and then wait for them to make a bigger correction here. And then go for that trade. If it's going to fall lower, ignore it. Go with any other. There are a number of yen trades that have set up for downside. Go with those trades, right? Because this one potentially might not go anywhere or might go up, which means they can consolidate here for the while, then go. CAD yen. If you're in the CAD yen long, you can hold it. That's a good one. You're following, great. We're keeping it. You may keep it until it breaks this top. Watch it when it breaks this top. I am not sure they're going to break the other top. They can break it. They can break that top, but we're not sure about that. So if you look at this pattern, you've got, it's easy to see, right? I think by now, the way I draw the charts, you can see we've got one up and one down, right? And then we start to do this, and you make whatever it is. Forget about what the pattern is. Ignore that. That's not your job right now. We will do that for you. But you can see that you're making some sideways and you're going to go up. At least break this top. We want them to break that up, and then you're likely going to do something like this. So you can get a move to the downside. So that is where you start moving your stops and watching it, right? Now, they can break this top as well. They can break that top as well. That is if we're going to make a running flat. I think by now, all of you know what a running flat is, right? I've been showing you them day and night for like the last 2-3 years, right? I've been showing it. So if they come higher than this one, we will break that up, make a running flat, come back here, and then continue to go up, right? Which is going to be nicer too. So you're still in this, keep it, at least keep it, move your stops with it. And when they break that up, then you start like, okay, I have to be very close to, to it, because when they turn, I want to be in that trade. First, you want to be out of the buy, and then you want to look for a sell setup. So short term, yes, some more upside. I think that's good. And then we'll see. So 1 hour, if you get a 1 hour flag, and for those of you who are not in the trade, you're getting a 1 hour flag here. I think this is really looking nice. This breaks, take that trade, take your profit. If this is going to be your first trade on it, take your trade, take profit, get out. If they go sharp enough to break this top, worse yet, take profit. Don't keep it. right? Swiss yen. I think I showed you Swiss yen details last week, why you should be buying it, and the week before, and the week before that, and the week before that, why this is a buy, right? And why it's a very good buy. We showed you the entire structure, we showed you the whole thing, and we tell you we think this one is going to come to break the top, at least break this top, right? So what we don't know is yet is if this thing is going to make a bigger correction like this and come one more here. Right? I want you to see this whole pattern. The possibility of this coming back one more here and then go making this a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure. So we're going to look into this to see whether we're getting a 5 wave. There is no divergence, which is good. It means we're going to continue to go, right? If you took this trade, take off the profit. Because of the 5th wave possibility that I showed you, take off the profit and wait for a flag. Wait for them to make, if you're in from the bottom, you're definitely out of that trade already, right? So take off this and wait for a flag here. Take this trade, take profit. Every one up to this line, you're taking profit. So you may get single trades, like an impulse, a correction, another impulse, another correction, another impulse. Every time you get an impulse, you take profit. Because if they turn from here, and they can turn from there to make one more down, right? If they're going to turn from here to go one more down, what we will see is we'll see a sharp wave at some point, either here, a sharp wave, a flag, and then we start selling for the next wave to the downside. All right, let me just show you that pattern again, because it's a very, very possible, very strong possibility. All right. We're looking at this here. 1, correction, 2, correction, possible 3. That would be a 5 wave structure. They will still go up because this is still a consolidation. It doesn't have to have 5. Sometimes 3 is more than enough, right? Sometimes it's just 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2, 3, and they go. Right now, you should be in this buy from here, what we're saying. You should be in that buy. If you get another flag, you buy, take profit. You get another flag, buy, take profit. You get, when you break this top, if you get a correction and you get a buy, take that and keep it. But until this top here, everything becomes one trade at a time. Get in, get out. If they turn, definitely you're looking for this, which means we're looking for this. You get a flag, they go down. You get a flag, they go down, and you'll get a number of flags until they break the low. Get out of it and look for upside. Right? So we can show you 3 waves and 5 waves patterns, a lot of them if you want. Look, this is a 3 wave. This looks like it has 5, but this is actually 2 impulses in here. I think you can see that. You're getting this upside and upside. You're getting this right now. We don't know if that is enough, or you get this, they come back here, and then they go, right? So just stay with the trade for now, and then we will see where it goes from there. Let's go. Aussie Swiss. I think last week we ignored this because you should ignore it. It was consolidating. It's breaking now. You can take your next trade. Right, you're breaking out. You might get another trade to the downside. You got a nice flat there, right? So if you saw that earlier, you should be in that trade already. You could put that to positive very soon. So you're looking for one more move to the downside. Take profit. Aussie New Zealand. Aussie New Zealand, we are back in the buy. You may want to put that to break even if you're back in the buy. We were still expecting that move up, but it's just going very, very, very slow. Put this here. I still think that for now, it looks like they're going to go make that one move to the top there, but it's going very slow, which means if they consolidate here for a while, we could get one more down before they go. So be careful now. If you're in the buy, at least you should get out for break even twice. All right, there were 2 buy setups we had, and both buy setups should be break even. Take this out. This is coming down sharp, so that would be another. The first one was from somewhere here, that's a break-even trade, or from breakout of this, if you took that, that's a break-even trade. Same thing if you took this one, that's another break-even trade. It's not going anywhere, so just wait. We'll wait some more, and then we'll see. If they consolidate to the top here, then you go for the buy. Aussie CAD. You may be getting a buy setup here. If you took that small trade we showed you there, that was a small trade we were looking for in our trading room. You got it to get out. I think you can look for one more here. This looks more upside. I'd let this consolidate because we already complete this pattern. I think we completed. You can see we made that. We complete drop. We make that. We drop. So I think we're either looking for a bigger consolidation here, which means one more move up like this. You make a flag here. You go up. You make a flag here, you get one more up. You make a flag here, you get one more up. We make a flag, go for one more up, take profit, right? If they make another big one like that, something here start to do more like this again, you'll see it, you'll get into the trade, you'll probably get a sell somewhere from the middle, right? So you can, right now, this is more of a, but I think longer term, this will make a big move up. You may want to take this because there's a good chance you're going to get a very big one up. Not just a short one like we get in these, but a bigger one up. New Zealand CAD. New Zealand CAD, you might get one more downside. It's kind of like make a nice flag here, so you might get one more downside. Break the bottom, take profit, right? As soon as it breaks the low, take profit. That might be one short trade. It's not going to go very far. New Zealand Swiss. This one is in consolidation. That was a short sell that didn't go very far. So right now you're having something like this, right? If you look at it, we never broke this top. And there are two possibilities when you don't break that up. You're really looking at a contracting flat. This is going to fall. Dangerous to sell. Why is dangerous? Because if this becomes the B wave, which means you don't break that low, you turn to the upside, that is a good buy. So for the buy setup, you wait until they break this top. If they come back and break that top, that is a definite buy setup to the upside. If this drip break the low, ignore it, because you don't know. You will never know whether that's a contracting flat. And they're going down. So you end up not getting this trade because of the contracting flat. But if it goes up, if it proves not a contracting flat and they go back upwards, that definitely is a good trade. Make sure they don't break the low. Make sure this low is not broken. And if it turns to the upside, that is a good trade. That becomes a really good trade. CAD Swiss. Wait for another correction here and then you can buy. I think we're looking for upside. On the big picture, it's something like this. Let me show you. We were expecting this to go to the top. It came to that level and they stopped, but they made a correction in here now. So we think this might just become a three-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, right? So what you're going to look for here now is go back to the 4-hour. You got an impulse, wait for a correction. Let them make a correction here. And then you look for a trade. So you might not get a trade here this week because they may take a couple days to correct in there. And when that correction is over, you can buy it and keep it for a longer term trade to the upside. Copper. The sell didn't go, but it's still a sell setup. They just went a little up. You're not looking for the buy. You're still looking for the sell. You could have gotten the sell earlier. Anybody got in that sell, by the way, earlier? That was a sell setup from the top there. Any of you guys trade copper? That was a sell setup there from there. So if you take this sell, if not, wait for a flag. When they come to this level, wait for a flag and you get a sell setup. One more trade to the downside and take profit, right? This should drop one more to the downside here, break this low, very likely break that low, and then you take profit because from there they can go back up, right? That is completing the pattern. This is the running flat we were looking at, and now you got an impulse and a flat, you got an impulse and a flat, you're looking for the downside, right? One more downside, and then I think you need to get out of that because we don't know how far low this is going to go, but you can move your stops till it takes you out. Natural gas, downside until it break this low. So the downside is happening. It's perfect actually with good sell setup there. That's your sell setup. And this should drop to break the low. So you'll probably get another sell here. You're getting a consolidation here. And then you get another drop here. Break that low, take profit. Don't keep it. US oil, sideways, pretty dangerous right now because we're in a big sideways move, really big sideways move. And there's a good chance that this starts to do something like this, drop here, go back up, come back down, and then go back up there. So you might be in this for a long time, something like what happened here. See that? You're in there for a long time. So trading this now might not be the best thing to do. Just leave it until it consolidates well and give us a direction for a longer term trade. Right now, it's just all short-term trades in there. You can trade it, but there's a lot of short-term trades. And because they're moving so fast, you might not be able to get out of the trade in time to make profit. Same here, they're consolidating. I will wait until they consolidate it because if they stay with that consolidation in here, we will go up. We're not going to get this one more down, right? This will become 1, 2, 3. We're not getting a 4 and a 5. So let's see if they drop. If you see signs of dropping, which means I don't see anything for a drop yet. They have to come in more, make a flag, and then we'll go. So this week, you're not going to get the sell unless they just make one drop, and sorry, you don't get it. But if they make a flag, then it becomes a good sell setup. So if this drops here Monday and then give you a flag, only then this trade is valid. If you don't get that flag, they can go sideways here for a while and then take off. So that might be waiting a whole week for that to consolidate there. S&P 500, one more up. You're getting one more up. They will break the top. Once they broke out of here, we would say they'll break the top. So they're going very slow. If you can move that entry order for the sell now, you can move your entry order for the sell here. Why you want to keep that sell? Well, you know why? Because when it's going to fall very hard. So the upside, if you're buying, once they break that top, that's it. You got to move your stop really tight or into break even, because once they move that top, we could be heading to the downside, right? Once they break this stop here, there's a good chance you could be heading to the downside. We need a sharp move down like that, something like that. And then we can look for more upside again. So watch this. This could be a very sharp move. It's coming anytime. Once they break this top, I'll expect them to break the top first and then come down. DAX, you're heading up too. So DAX is upside, and it likely could break this top. So you might get a bigger move to the upside in the DAX than you could get in the S&P. Wait for a flag here, take this straight up like that. We're looking for that move up, right? So go back to the 4 1 hour, see if you get any buy setup. Nope, you don't have anything. But it's consolidating. You can see that. Let them consolidate here some more, and then you can get the trade like this, right? Wait for that consolidation and then go for the trade. Let's go. Bit nifty, because a lot of you guys trade this. Nifty, watch it. We can get more downside. This is not a running flat because that's sharpness. If they're going to go up, wait for a flag here before you buy. If they're going to drop, you still have to wait for a flag, right? So it's a flag for upside or a flag for downside, one out of the two. If you don't get either, then don't trade it. Because at this point, there's no telling which direction it's going to go. We don't have a setup for a direction, right? Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin is going up. I was expecting it to break the low. They didn't drop enough. They pulled back over there. I think you're still expecting one more low. This short term could go one more up. Short term, this is looking one more up. Let's put it like this so you can see it. Short term, you can expect this to go one more up here. But I don't think that is becoming a long-term trade. I think that might still give you a drop like that, something like this. Give you a drop there, break the low, and then turn. Because we're looking at this structure. Remember, we said there's a possibility that this one will be going. So if you bought that, you got out for break even. That didn't go where you want. And now we're looking for this. They break very sharp. The move to the downside is really sharp. So I don't think it's over. I think this one here will give you one more to the low here. Then we're going to get this. We're still getting that up move. But they're just retesting the low. Retest the low again, go back up, and then you get that. Somewhere here, we'll start to look for the downside. So we're pretty much in a big consolidation. You've got a sharp impulse up. You're making your consolidation here. And then you will get that move up. You can wait for this. You can wait for the breakout, or you can look for a buy setup somewhere at the low, and that becomes a good trade. Right? Wait for that impulse correction. If the first time around it didn't go, it went well, but this did turn out to be more of a correction. This one, you don't want to buy it because this is definitely not going anywhere. It's going sideways. If you take this short-term trade here, let's say you take this short-term trade here, it comes like this. You can either take profit or put it to break even. See if that goes. I don't think that is going to go. But you can put it to break even and see if you got lucky, right? If they go break that up. I don't think they're going to break it. If they break that up, we will be looking for the upside. This would be the start of the upside, and we're looking for 1, 2, 3, and go back up, which means we will get another sharp one like this, but we're going to get it higher as a running flat. So if you're going to buy this here for a possible running flat in the making, which you think that this is one impulse and that this will go up and then go up and then go up and then make another impulse like that and then give us a running flat there, well, you can take this trade and put it to break even, right? You will have enough chance to get into the trade if it becomes a running flat. But if it is a downside, which means this is not the low, but you make another low, let it go if you don't get to sell. And then definitely from here, you start to look for that trade up, right? You wait for the impulse, wait for the correction, get in the trade. Let's go with Ripple. We didn't break the low, which means you can buy. Look for this buy. If you didn't buy already, because you should be buying this thing already. I think we spoke about this, right? You should have bought it at 26. I told you if it comes back here, buy. If you didn't buy there, well, then you can wait for another chance to buy here. Once it makes this flag, you can allow this flag to make, break, and then buy again. It breaks the stop, put that to break even. Is this the one that is going to go back up, or does this become a big flat for one more down? So we can look at this and say, is this the one going up now? If that is the case, this one is going to take off. You're going to get a trade like this, right? If that is not the case, they will only come to about this level and go make one more low and then go back up. So you can get out here for break even, wait for it to come to the low. As soon as it breaks that low, you buy. Don't wait for anything, just buy. Calculate your risk at 0 and wait for that one up, right? Once they break that low, you might not get them to go much more lower. So you may want to get into the trade, calculate your risk at 0, and then wait for the next trade up. Okay, that's about it. I think somebody's asking about platinum. Platinum might give you one more low. This one here, it looks like you're going to make a consolidation there more than the turn. So I think you might just get one more low here. Tag this low, and then you start to look for the upside. So if you bought already and it's not going, take the break even, put an entry order above the stop, and put an entry order under the low. Both are buys. If they break from here and go, you're in the buy. If they come down, make a new low, you want to buy again from there to go up, right? Because we have a big structure to the upside, right? We have this move that has to come. So there is a move like this that is coming. They can drop one more, yes. They can pull back, drop one more. They can pull back, drop one more. They're still going to do that, right? So every time they drop one more, you're looking for that big move. If you want to take the short trades, that's okay. If you manage to get them, that's okay. Sometimes you don't get them, you just get break even out of them, right? So then you can see all Forex and XRP go. I think it's going to make a big correction. I don't think it's going to make a very big one, but you can watch that part again. Right? So it's either a flat and they drop again in the XRP, and that means you buy beyond the low. Once you get the trade to go, just put it to break even. If it is going to go all the way to the top, I mean, you see it's moving far enough. You can put, if you're calculating for this move all the way to the top, then you made one attempt, two attempts, at least 2 or 3 attempts you already made, and there you have 3 break even. That's okay. Right? That's 3 times you were wrong about when it's going to start the up move, but you managed to get out for break even. You can do that 5 times, and you got 5 break-even trade, and then this happened, and then you get that trade, right? If you're selling and you get break-evens, you don't really go, because if you're selling, you're telling me that you think this thing is going to go way down. That's what I'm selling. I don't see that structure. This is what we have. We have 1, 2, 3, and we still have that as an impulse. We're going to get an impulse, and we'll consider it downside. So you still have to get that impulse, which is coming very soon. Any short-term trade you sell has to be very short-term, right? Has to be very, very short-term. So watch it. Good question, Chris. That's a whole 5 weeks. The answer to that question will be 5 weeks, right? You know how to get the answer. 5 weeks, we will tell you. As the students who are doing it now, they're amazed and they love what they're seeing, right? The traders who are actually taking the course now, they're really happy, right? Most of them thought that the first week alone was worth the money they paid. And these are real feedback I'm getting from them, that the first week alone is worth the money they paid. So the rest of it is absolutely free for the rest of their life, right? The good thing is you're in a good group. That's the most important thing, right? So the idea is coming to the group is just not to only get the webinars I do or the classes I do, but to get the training itself. Let me just make sure I stress that to you. If you're not getting the training from me, then it's your risk to see what you're getting out there if you want, right? Right? So good. So let's go. What's the next one? I think that's about it. I can take any questions if you guys have. We'll take a few questions and then we're going to stop the recording on YouTube, live session on YouTube. Any questions? Any questions? Okay. So let me thank you for coming. You guys are great. Have a wonderful week ahead of you. And I would definitely see all of you next week, right? We've got some busy times right now because we have an ongoing course. Can Ripple go up with BTC is going down and making a new low? Depends on what time frame, which one is going up. But yes, they can move in opposite directions. They don't have to go in the same direction. They just probably wouldn't be making a daily impulse in the same direction, in the opposite direction. But they can go for 1 hour, 4 hour, they can go in opposite direction. Right? How to manage stop loss and expanding flat. That depends on where you get in the flat and where you're putting, where you see the structure changing. So it depends on what part of the flat you're trading as well. Can you please have a look at Aussie 200? I think we looked at that already. This one we're looking at in our, I told you to wait for the correction. You're getting that correction. This is a big trade to the downside. Let me give you guys a bonus here. This is a big trade to the downside. I think all of you can see it immediately, right? You can literally see that, right? That this thing has a sharp move to go down with. You're getting a correction here right now. So at least you can get one trade more down to the bottom here, and then you'll see what happens from this piece. If this goes back up one more, right? But what you can do is you can get that trade. So let's go to the 4 hour. And if you're lucky, they break that structure and then you're in a big one. You're getting a nice setup here for a buy. Let it consolidate here and then look for the sell, right? Short term, you don't want to buy. Sorry, I said buy, right? I should say it's for a sell. Let them consolidate here. And then you look for that sell setup. That's a big sell. So you want to keep your eyes on it, right? Can silver make it to 12? Possible. I would be happy if it goes to 12. Then I get to buy silver at 12. Right? If silver goes to 12, maybe, just maybe I might get to buy it at 12. I don't think if I put an entry order at 12, they'll tag me. I think they will ignore that order. Right? Most trades get stop loss before takeoff. Any advice? Well, you either need to change where you're putting your stop loss or you need to get in the trade afterwards, later on. Either you're getting the trades way too early, right? That is why the structure is not finished and you're getting in and you hope that that is going to go. And then you put a stop loss, they take you out and then, they go, right? Or, well, then wait somewhere. Every time you want to get in the trade, wait, look back for your reasons. You're probably not looking at the right structures yet, right? You're getting in way too early, you get ahead of yourself. That means you're going to get taken out. So you can have more patience. That will help. Or you're putting the stop losses at the wrong place. You have to put the stop loss where there'll be a structural change, which means you're totally wrong about that. Most times, if you use the pattern, you can get out for break even, right? So silver, I showed you guys that in silver, right? How you can get out for break even every time you take the silver after the low. So if you bought the silver here at 14, I told my guys, there's two options. You can keep the trade and don't worry about it once you calculate your risk at zero, or you could have put it to break even in profit, actually, and you would have got out for some profit. Very small profit, but got out for profit. And then wait for it to break the low and buy again, right? If you don't think they're going to break the low, put an entry order at the top there. So you got out of the trade, put an entry order, they take off, you're in the trade, right? See that? Okay, guys, we're way into the hour. Let me see if somebody won the Turkish lira. I don't know if there's anything happening there. Let's go take a look. This is the last one we do, and then we'll call it a day. All of you have a great weekend. Turkish lira, yes, downside. You got it. This was a sell setup here when the break. You can actually sort of break out, see that breakout. Now they might go sideways. Now you're getting this. So you're pretty much in a sideways move. See that? But you got a sell setup here. They're actually making a consolidation here. So you can get one more drop, take profit at this level, because you don't know if this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then go down. You're looking at some kind of a pattern, but the short-term one is a sell. At least go for that sell. Wait for it to consolidate and go for a sell. Right? Okay, everybody have a good weekend. Thank you for coming. Help share the videos to those who have never seen it. So there are a lot of people out there who have never seen this, and they might enjoy it the way you enjoy it. They may learn something. So have a good weekend. Take care. Thank you for coming. Bye-bye.